Hello, part 4. It's part 4, can't believe it. We're coming towards the end of the week. If you've missed parts of this conversation of the 3 flying fish rowing across the Atlantic, unbelievable, please go back on the playlist here on YouTube, part 1, then 2 and 3. It all makes sense. It's all fascinating. We've really explored the 3 flying fish's incredible journey this week and looking at their motivation, the preparation and the extreme challenges that they're going to face on the water. But we talk about the mental battle because it's beyond the physical endurance. What does it take to stay mentally strong in the face of fear, loneliness and exhaustion? How do they keep pushing forward when the waves are against them? And what impact has the journey had on their mindset and personal growth? They're the things and the questions being questioned, right? Because we don't know the answers to it yet. It's fascinating. It gets funny because Anna brings up something I never even thought about. We're looking at sleep and things like that, but toiletry, wee, poo. She got me on that one. Anyway, here's part 4 with the 3 flying fish. You 3 obviously met at the Air Cadets, but how did you 3 form this team to do this? Because there's other people, right, in the cadets. Why you 3 and why you 3 with the chemistry?
So it's a very long story. We actually had another team member on the team, before Harry, until this time last year. Actually, it's probably about a year.
January, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's probably about coming up to a year. So, I think pretty much it's just how it fell. I dropped Anna back. We told the story earlier. I dropped Anna back. Saw it. I was interested. I said to Anna, I reckon we can do that. So that's me and Anna already in the dream.
It was literally just you. It would just be easier. We're all from Burnham, so Rowan on his way home would just drop me off and drop Nicole off sometimes, and whoever else needs to be dropped off. So it wasn't even like we weren't massively like best friends, were we? At that point, we were just friends in cadets, and it just kind of happened that it was easier for them to drop me on the way back, and then that's just how that kind of happened.
It is just the way of life. It's how it fell. If you speak to a lot of ocean rowers, you don't go into ocean rowing and you're like, live your life being like, I want to do an ocean row. You somehow fall into ocean rowing, which happens to be most people. A lot of people just say it's a drunken night at the pub. So it's pretty much we fell into it, and we had a team member on board for 2 years. I won't mention his name, but who we thought was going to do it with us. He was as much of a team as we are now, but because of life choices, he decided to leave this time last year. And we thought, didn't we, Anna? We thought that was the end of the team. We thought, that's the dream over. That is completely, that's the end. We're not going to be able to bounce back from that. But then we recollected about a week later, and we said, look, we think we can carry on. Do we do it as a pair, or do we look for another team member? And that's where this young man comes in.
I can explain. So from my point, so we're all on different. So Rowan, Anna, and my predecessor were all on the same squadron, so the same sort of unit where they go and do parade nights and stuff. And I'm the same but different. So we're one of, I think, the only ones in our area that have this. It's called a detached flight. So I'm in Southwood and Ferrers. That's where my squadron is, and then theirs is in Burnham or Crouch. So Rowan, Anna, and my predecessor were all in the same squadron. That's how they all sort of became friends. And because we're like your parent squadron, I think
so you're connected.
Yes, we're connected, but we actually are in different sites. So we wouldn't spend every week together like they would, but we'd see each other on events. So me and Rowan became best mates in 2019.
No, it was after COVID.
No, because Coningsby was that 2021?
2021.
Oh yeah, 2021. So me and Rowan went on an Air Cadets camp to RAF Coningsby, and I knew who he was because we'd had like a mess night or something like that before.
We hated each other.
Yeah, we absolutely hated each other. And I come up to him at the coach station. I remember saying, "Hello, how are you?" And I remember then I thought, he's absolutely not. Like, I don't like this. And I was like, I've got to sit on a coach with him for 3 hours. Like, brilliant. And then I think we sat together, and we just got along really well. And then we spent the whole week together on that camp. By the end of the week, we was like literally like brothers sort of thing.
Love it.
We've been best mates ever since.
Oh.
I think there's no one else I really have a connection with like Rowan in the way we do. We don't see each other nearly as much as we used to, but we still got the exact same friendship as we've always had. And I remember vividly when Rowan asked me to join the team, I was on a date with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and I was driving to a restaurant or home or something like that, and she was in the car, and he called me, and he was like really upset, and he was like, "Oh, he's just left the team. My predecessor just left the team," and he was like really upset. I think you were crying as well at the time. So I was like, "Mate," I was like, "I'm so sorry" to my girlfriend at the time. And I said, "I'm going to take you home. I've got to see Rowan." So she obviously weren't the happiest about that. And then I got Rowan to drive down to me. Got in my car and I just drove to McDonald's, got a drink and a McFlurry or something, and we just sat in the car park and we just spoke for hours. And then as I was driving back to where Rowan had parked his car, he was like, "Do you want to join?" And I was like, "Oh,
bearing in mind, I had not been consulted at all by this conversation."
But to be fair,
That is brilliant.
Oh God! Anna didn't Zimper, to be honest. It was kind of like I think you did it on Zimper a little bit, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
But I've always known about the roast since I was like probably 10 years old.
You actually did. You tried to start a team.
Me and my friends at school.
You did say this on the pre-chat.
Yeah. Me and my friends were like, "Oh, we could smoke them. Let's get a team. We'll just beat them." No, that didn't.
That was about a week. That was about a week of we're going to do it, and then it just felt like that was the end of it. Never heard again.
But I've always like really enjoyed listening to the stories they tell me about the free flying fish and stuff before I was in the team, and I was always quite envious about it because I didn't have my own team as well to beat in. So when Ron asked me, obviously the first thing I said was yes, 100%, because I knew a lot about the road before they even started the team, and I've always followed it. I've watched documentaries and stuff about it. I thought that was really cool. And then when they asked me, I jumped in it without even thinking about it, to be honest.
Jumped in there, see what you did there.
First, and then the decisions came after, to be honest.
Yeah, and then I was like, Harry's a bit annoying. Do I want to be the team? But actually, it was such a good decision.
I think we're much stronger, definitely now.
Yeah. Look at you guys. I love that story. I didn't know all of that. That was awesome. Yeah, so good.
Having Harry on the team is fantastic. Yeah, I think the team wouldn't be where we are now without him, because
keep it coming.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You've got a moment. Go. This is going to be a reel, by the way.
Hey, we were in such a low, and Harry, with his consistent energy throughout his whole life coming into the team, he took us out of that low, and where we are now a year later is just two completely different teams.
Yeah. I think the great thing as well, whereas we weren't really friends, the three of us, before Harry, we just knew each other from cadets, and then we became friends. With Harry, we were all friends with each other before the road came along, so it was like, it wasn't like we had to see each other because we'd already voluntarily seen each other for I think me and you probably only like friends. But we'd known each other again, through cadets. We'd seen each other at every event.
It was much more organic.
Yeah, Harry's always oh God, I'm going to make a joke and I'm going to be cheeky and try and get away with the officers and all this stuff. So we knew of him before anyway, and obviously we're friends. And then the team happened, which I think was a better way to do it, because it meant that actually we already know each other, and we already know how to deal with each other. Whereas when suddenly you go from only seeing each other at cadets, for example, and then being shoved into a room with each other 3 times a week, with cadets and the Rowan, whatever else, it's almost like you're forced to be there, whereas we all voluntarily want to see each other. So it works a lot better, I think.
And just to add to what Anna's just said, the one thing I know for a fact I've brought to this team is, well, obviously it was here before, but the one thing I've tried to maintain, I think Rowan and Anna will definitely agree, is that I've said the one thing that comes before anything, if we've got money we need to get, if we've got media we need to make, I say, doesn't matter as long as we're all on good terms with each other and friends. I've said to them, I think we all got in a bit of an argument a couple of months ago, and I went, right, we're meant to be on a training night, scrap it off, we're going to go do an escape room together. So we went and we did an escape room together as a bit of team building, because I said the fundamentals of this campaign is that we are all best friends. And I said, as long as that 100% stays in place, there'll be no issues. We can sort money out, we can sort food out, we can sort everything else out, we can sort fitness out, but we can't sort out our friendships if they're not in the place they should be. And that comes before everything. Everything else goes straight to the bottom of priorities, but friendship is the top.
Well, that is absolutely so true. Like Anna and I, we've had massive ups and downs this past.
Right?
Yeah, so many.
So we have had huge arguments, huge arguments this time last year, and a lot before then. You know, we've had arguments I've never had with people outside my family, like really god awful arguments. But I'm glad they happened because that makes me now aware of what makes Anna go off. Anna knows what makes me go off, and me and you as well. Which I think is such a good skill for the row itself.
I'm only laughing. We had one about 2 weeks ago.
No domestics here on the podcast, guys.
To be fair, it's actually like a good thing because I think sometimes when we're doing all this stuff that, you know, like problem solving, planning, event planning, and all this stuff, and it makes us feel like we're, you know, middle-aged people that have, you know, that you do in your everyday job, whereas we're still kids. You know, I'm still doing my A-levels. Like, no one really is doing this at my age, you know, other than people doing stuff like this. So I think having the arguments is kind of a reminder that we are just kids, and you know we are going to have the stupid arguments. And I tell my parents about them, they're like, "Oh my god, you're being petty," or "Rowan's being petty," and usually it's me being petty. But you know, and they're like, all right, guys, all right. But it just reminds us that we are kids and that, you know, we do make mistakes and not everything is.
But adults do too, Anna. You know? Yeah. I've met more petty people as adults. Did I think bullying was going to happen as an adult? Hell no.
No. Yeah.
So everything you're going through is completely normal, but it's good that it's happening before because one, you're prepared for what you know, what Rowan just said. You're going to be ready for those moments in the boat. You're going to be in a tighter space, but everything you just said is why this is going to work.
Yeah.
If this didn't happen before and then happened on the boat, one of you's going to be thrown off. Do you know what I mean?
And it'll be Harry.
It won't. Stronger than both of them.
He's 6'7". You two are 6'1". You two are 5'7". You're out.
No.
Oh, sorry, you're jacked, aren't you? Sorry.
Yeah.
You got the muscles. You'll just throw him out.
Yeah.
Mate, that was a beautiful moment. That was honest. You guys are so. You've got your head switched on, and that's exactly why this is going to work. You're aware that problems are going to happen. They are. It's just beautiful. No, I love it. So, time frame then. Before we come to the end, time frame of the whole row from beginning to end. How long do you think it's going to be?
What, from when we leave in La Gomera?
Yeah.
8 days. We're going to break the world record.
The record is just over 40 days.
And we're going to break that.
We'll try and break it.
We're going to break that.
I like this attitude. You're going to break it. Train the brain that you're going to do it. Rowan, get on board here, son.
We're going to break it. And when we break it, then I'll say, look, we did.
I just want to stargaze. I don't mind about how long it takes us.
Oh, we know who's sitting back, guys.
We know.
I want these guys put in the hard effort, and when it's my turn, I'm just going to be like this.
On a realistic note, Andy.
Yeah.
We will try and break the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could take anywhere between 40 and 60 days.
Yeah. Okay.
And sure. I think as well, I do think there is the aspect of, for the first few weeks, we're going to go hard. You know, you have to go hard to get out of the islands and all that stuff. But I think the big bit of it is seeing, like, right, you can either go really fast and really hard, but are you going to enjoy it as much as the people that take longer? But actually, they're the people that will get in the water when there's dolphins around them and will, you know, call their parents for 20 minutes and just have a chat and just also take it in. But I think sometimes you need to find the balance of wanting to get the record or whatever, but also enjoying it and like being able to take it in, its experience. Because actually, would you rather do 30 days and then bam, we're home and we're normal people again, or would I rather do 100 days? But that's 100 days on the Atlantic Ocean with nature and with the sun, and do you know what I mean? So
I think I like that one better, if I'm honest, based on how you said it, for sure.
Weather as well. Like the first 2 weeks, as Anna said, is going to be the most difficult. Once we get ourselves out the islands and we start benefiting from the trade winds, I think we'll see where we're at in the pack.
Yeah.
If we're on a world record projected time, which if we are, I think we'd be dumb to not put the effort in and get that.
Yeah. But if you're not, you can slow down, can't you?
Yeah, if we're not, that's what I'm
I think the biggest thing is not going out being like we're going to, because if you aim for, right, we're going to do it in under 40 days, and we don't do it, it's probably more, we didn't get the record than, we've just rode the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Great. If 100%, if we're on track for world record pace, let's do it. Let's go for it. It's a great thing to say, and it's a great another achievement you can add on. But we're already going to be the youngest, and we're already inspiring people. And actually, that's bigger than anything else in terms of our campaign.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. But you know what, guys, if you are on track and you do run the record, to get longer, you just say, let's just go back.
We'll just go again.
Yeah, we'll just sail back. We'll just meet you. We won't fly home. We'll just meet you back. Safety then. Are you guys prepared for shit weather? Are you prepared for how? Because What? Sorry.
We live in the UK. It's always shit weather.
I've forgotten about that shit weather. I've avoided it for the last 13 years. But the waves and things like that. Is there any chance of it being toppled over? What?
Yeah. So rowing in ocean is a really dangerous thing to do. It's compared to things like climbing Everest and going to the poles. It is super dangerous. You can't say it isn't. A couple of people died. 2 people died doing it last year. So we can't go to our loved ones and say we're going to be absolutely fine, because that isn't the case. That could not be the case. Like we could get into a lot of trouble out there. Mm-hmm. So to prepare for that, it's hard, but we need to put ourselves in situations during our training. We're in the boat training. That means we are absolutely super confident with each other's abilities and that boat. If we don't trust that boat, we'll go across in a state of fear. Mm-hmm. That can't be the case. We've got to be super confident in that boat, and that's the only way. You mentioned the waves, Andy. There's a very high possibility we're going to get waves up to 40 foot high.
That scares the living daylights out of me. And I live in Australia, not far from the surf coast.
So that is, people say, terrifying. And to a degree, there's a part of me that thinks, that is a little bit scary. Yeah. But there also is a part of me that thinks, I trust my boat. I trust that boat to get me through all those conditions.
Is it inevitable? Are those 40-foot waves going to happen at some point in that period, or is there a chance they don't come in that?
We don't know what the weather's going to be like, but there's a very high chance that we're going to get a big storm at some point in the row, and that it's going to be unbelievable conditions out there.
You get like rogue waves as well. It could just be dead calm, and then there'll just be a massive wave come out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, and you're still version. But the boat that we've got is tested. Is perfect, and it's self-righting. So if the boat does topple over, as long as the cabin doors are shut and all the lockers are shut and the storage lockers, stuff like that, it will come back round.
Wow. So when that happens, then would you have to be in the cabins?
No. So when that happens, you'll probably be on deck, rowing. But because of the speed of what it will go over, you will be underwater for a bit, for like a couple of seconds. It'll come back over, and you'll be just holding on. You'll get you'll dry yourself down and just carry on rowing. It's quite common. It is quite common to happen. We have to go out there kind of expecting that to happen.
I kind of want one to happen. I think it'll be amazing. I think it'll be exhilarating.
It'll be a great story for the grandkids. 100%. So,
and the post podcast too.
Exactly. I think safety though. I'm not really. I can't speak for the rest of them, but for Anna and Rowan obviously. But for me, I'm not really scared of any of that stuff. The main thing I'm scared about safety wise is marlin strikes. Have you ever heard of
What's that? No.
I'm pretty like I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'm at peace with that. I know if I get in the water to clean the bottom of the boat, a shark could just come and nibble me up, or I could end up having to abandon ship at some point and might dive, whatever. I'm fine with that. I've come to grips with that.
Okay.
But the thing I've not come to grips with is when you're sleeping in the rear cabin, there's a chance of
anywhere.
Oh yeah, any any cabin. When you're sleeping, there's been occasions where marlins, which are like swordfish essentially, will come up the bottom of the boat and just with their sword. And bear in mind, they can be pretty long, and if that goes through you, end game.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the bit I'm scared of.
And the thing is,
God, I would be too.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a little fact here, and which terrified me. To be fair to Harry, that's my fear as well. That I'm just scared of that. I don't want to be stabbed by a marlin. A boat this year that went across doing what we're doing, got 3 marlin strikes. 3.
Which is so unlucky. Like, that's never happened.
3.
I'm going to YouTube this as soon as we stop filming. Oh my
The
lord!
reason I'm scared is because you can't prepare for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're in a massive storm, you think, okay, right, let's put the grab bag near the side. Let's get the rescue boat and everything sort of ready, like the little, what's it called? The life raft. Let's get that all prepped. Get the flares near where you can reach them, stuff like that, because you can prepare for that. But if you just sleep in, then what? Do you know?
They had one through someone's legs, so they were lying down in between their legs. Marlin strike, so they were really lucky.
I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd ever be able to fall asleep.
I don't think they've ever had.
I'm gonna like stand up the whole time.
I think they've got like blunt force to their elbow from Marlin, because they had a Kevlar sheet, I think, but obviously it doesn't stop. It stops the spike coming through, but it doesn't stop the blunt force coming through.
Yeah.
So hit their elbow, they had to stop rowing.
Yeah, people take it really seriously. We do as well. Yeah. People put chainmail under where they're sleeping to stop them being stabbed, and as Anna said, they sometimes even put Kevlar in the bottom of the boats to stop it.
There must be something you can put on there. Must be where to do that.
I think whatever you adds weight, which you've got to row it, because I don't think we've mentioned, but I'm sure you know, but for the listeners, the row is completely unsupported. Every single stroke that we're putting through them oars is the only way we're going to get across. We've not got a sail, we've not got a backup little engine we can put in, a motor, nothing like that. That is the only way we're getting from La Gomera to Antigua, through R3's arms and power.
Little bit of extra weight, still alive. I know which one I'd take, but guys,
we'll be fine. We'll row faster than the marlins.
Yeah,
they row
not when you're asleep.
40 miles an hour. I'm sure we can row at 41. So,
oh my lord, that is something new.
We'll chuck Rowan in the water to fight.
Yeah, exactly.
This buff man.
Yeah, Hulk over.
Yeah. I'd never heard of that, guys, and that's kind of freaked me out. So this has put it onto a whole new level for me. Are you guys going? I actually kind of want to stop you now. So okay, cool. I'm not a campaign guy. I don't know what I'm doing in terms of, you guys are the experts. So is there anything we've missed in terms of the trip, in terms of the campaign, before I ask you around about the cancer?
Okay.
Side of things.
So I think there is one thing, and it's how the shift patterns work.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I should have known that.
Yeah. Obviously, when we want that boat to keep moving the whole time, so that means we got to have at least 2 people on the oars at any one time.
Join us tomorrow.